Hello everyone, welcome to the part 8 of JavaScript. From now on, we are going to enter into the development part of JavaScript. Till now, we have completed HTML, we have completed CSS, and we have covered mostly the programming part of JavaScript. From now on, we are going to enter into the development part of JavaScript. We are going to see how we can connect our JavaScript with our HTML and CSS, and how we can manipulate the elements in the CSS, in HTML, in our document through our JavaScript. So in DOM, in this session, what are we gonna focus on is how we can manipulate our HTML CSS elements through JavaScript. That is nothing but DOM structures. Through DOM concept, we can manipulate the elements, we can select the elements through JavaScript. So here the meaning of DOM is, the full form of DOM is document object model, and the meaning of DOM, document object model, is that let's say that I am having a HTML file. Let's say I am having a HTML file, and the structure of the file is, first of all, I am having HTML tag, and inside the tag I am having basically head tag. After head I am having my body tag. So in the body, let's say I'm having a paragraph tag, anchor tag, div tag, and inside this div tag again I'm having an anchor tag, \a, \div, and here \a, \p. Okay, and finally I'm having my HTML document. Okay, before like HTML, I will be having here body tag, \body. Now let's say that for this HTML document I have connected my JavaScript file. Let's say my JavaScript file is app.js. Now I am connecting this file, this JavaScript file, with my HTML at the end of my body. So here I will connect /script. I will add my script tag is equals to src is equals to, here I'm gonna write here app.js. Now what I did is I have connected this script tag \script with my HTML document. Now in the system, in the browser, what will happen is that when I connect JavaScript with my HTML, then JavaScript will create a tree like structure for this HTML. Now what this app.js will do is that it will create a document tree, and through this tree we can manipulate, we can select, we can like change the values of each and every tag through this tree, and that tree is known as DOM, document object model. I hope you have understood. So in basic terms, when I connect my JavaScript file with my HTML, then what my JavaScript will do is that it will form a document tree, and through this document tree we can manipulate, we can select the elements in the HTML without actually entering into the document of HTML. Okay, so how the tree will look like? So first of all, it will create a node of document, and inside the document it will have a child body, and for body you can see how many children. Paragraph is a children, anchor tag is a children, div is a children. These three elements are the direct children of this body tag. So here I will have paragraph tag and anchor tag, after it div. Now for this div, how many children, internal children it is having? One children. Anchor tag is again as a child of div. So here we will have anchor tag, and this structure is known as DOM structure, document object model structure. And here you need to remember that in HTML, all this body, para, anchor, this we call all this as tags, HTML tags. But here the nodes, here you can see that I am representing the tree in the form of a like circle. We call this circle as a node. In programming terms, we call this as a node. And in our previous session in data structures and algorithms, we have talked about trees in detail. If you are unclear with what is a tree, how a tree will look like, then I recommend you guys to go to that session and watch that session clearly. It will be like easy, I think, but yeah. And we call this, in JavaScript we call this tags as objects. In HTML we call \p, div, we call all this words as tags, but in here in JavaScript we call body as an object, and p is an object, a is an object, div is an object, a is an object. So each node will behave as an object. Now we have studied in object literal. What is an object? Object is nothing but a structure in which we store key value pairs. So here each node is an object, and object, we know that object will store key value pairs. So document will have its own key value pair, body will have its own key value pair, P will have its own value pair. So each object which I have described here, which is nothing but each node, will have its corresponding key value pair. So I hope you have understood what is DOM. DOM is nothing but a structure which is used to manipulate HTML and CSS property through JavaScript. Okay, got it. Now this is what a HTML document will look like when we connect JavaScript within the browser. This is what we will get. Here document is an object and body is an object, a div is an object. Every node here will behave as an object. Now I want you guys to draw the corresponding HTML structure for this given tree. So here we will be having general HTML, and let's say I'm having some head tag. After head tag I will be having my body, and inside the body what are we having? Direct children's div and a unordered list. So backslash div, and inside the unordered list I am having 3 ordered list, one list, second list, third list, backslash ul, and here inside the div I am having h1 tag, and after backslash HTML. So this will be the structure of my HTML, and this will be my structure of my JavaScript internally when I connect my HTML with my JavaScript. Okay, now let us see. Here you can see that I have shown you a document node. Initially when the tree is formed, we are getting a document node. Here also I am having a document node. What is this document node? Basically, what is this document object? Let us see. I will show you. So here I will go to my browser. Okay, so this is the browser I am having. Now what I am gonna do is that I will click on inspect and I will go to my console. So here in the console, okay, so here in the console what I'm gonna do is that first of all I will clear all the things. Now I will write my document object. So here I will write document, and you can see that document is having the structure of this, the whole structure. So the document node will store the whole structure of this page. Here you can see that this is the Microsoft page, and this document object is storing all the HTML, CSS of this page. Now if you want to see what are the properties it is having, I have told you that object will store properties in the form of key value pairs. Now if you want to see what are those properties, then you can do that by writing a line called as console.dir. So console.dir is a line which is used to check the properties of an object. Okay, what are the properties this object is having? If you want to see the properties or key value pairs a particular object is storing, then you use console.dir. Through console.dir we can see the properties associated with the object. So here I will write my document object, document, enter, and you can see that here document is having different things. First property is location, after URL, active element, anchor tags, like something like body. All these things is a part of my document object. So through document object, the thing you need to remember here is, in the previous session when we studied about object literal, we have studied a inbuilt JavaScript object called as window object. So what window will store? Window will store the data of the browser. Whenever we manipulate something, window object will store it, and through window object we can give prompts, we can perform actions in our like browser. Similar to window object, we have another object which is associated with the HTML and the CSS part of our Java program development, right? And that object is nothing but document object. And what document object will store is that it will store the complete information of HTML and the CSS of your web page. Okay, so here you can see that I'm having different properties like doc type, embeds, first child, fonts, which fonts I'm using, which forms are there, full screen, last element, how many elements are there, on click what will happen, when I give some input what will happen. So all this A to Z of our web page information is getting stored within the document object. Now you can see that there is another object called as all, and inside the all object you can see that again I am having different properties like meta tags and root elements, how many root elements are there, and all this information. So here the thing you need to remember about document object is associated with the HTML and the CSS part of your web page, and it will store the entire data of your document, of your web page. Now let us enter into the development part of JavaScript. So I have provided you the starter code, a template basically, which we use to perform operations, which we use to understand how DOM work. We are gonna use this template. I have provided you the link in the comment section. I want you guys to download the link and do the things which I am doing along with me. If you do it with me now, then you will understand each and everything. If you come and listen, then I don't think so it will work, and I don't think so you guys understand like that much. So yeah, download the starter kit and let us start our development part of JavaScript. So here the first property, here before going into the properties, I want to tell you something. So DOM, document object model, is a two-step process. So the definition of DOM is that selecting and manipulating our HTML and CSS through JavaScript. Like we are using JavaScript as a barrier, or you can say as a tool through which we can indirectly manipulate our CSS with our HTML through JavaScript. So this thing is known as document object. This is the definition of document object model, and document object model is a two-step process. The first step is selection. Okay, let's say that in a document we are having hundreds of paragraphs, hundreds of images, h1 tags, h2 tags, different tags we can have, right? So the first thing you need to do is you have to select, okay, what elements you want to select and how, on which elements you want to perform manipulation steps. So the first step of DOM is selecting elements, and the second step is manipulation. Okay, after selecting n number of elements, on this n number of elements you are going to perform manipulation methods. So these are the two important steps you need to remember, and we have different concepts, we use different methods to select elements, to manipulate elements. So this whole session will be divided into two parts, you can say. The first part is selecting elements. We are gonna see how we can select multiple elements, how we can select a single element, and after understanding how we select elements, we are going to see how we can manipulate the selected elements in our HTML and CSS. So the first concept we are gonna see is selecting elements, how we can select elements. So to select elements, so the first step is selecting elements, and in selection we have mainly two methods. One is GetElement method and the second one is QuerySelector. So let us begin with our first method, which is GetElementById. So let us see how this will work. I will show you directly and you guys can easily understand. So here this is the template I'm using, and in the template I'm having my document file, basic document. Here these are the meta tags. Leave the meta tags. All you need to see is that I have connected my HTML with my CSS. Now after this is my basic template. I'm having Spider-Man and its image, h2 tag, paragraph tag, div block, and some content, and finally I'm having images. Now one more important thing is that at very last I have connected my HTML file with my JavaScript file. So this is my JavaScript file. It is empty, there is nothing in my JavaScript file, and in my styling file I have given some basic styling to some elements. Now what I'm gonna do is that first of all I will run this document. Okay, so here you can see that this is my document of Spider-Man. Let me zoom out. Yeah, you can see that this is the document of Spider-Man, basic HTML document we are using. Okay, I'm having h1 tag, image, after it h2 tag, and paragraph. After paragraph, I'm describing an ordered list. After it, again h2 tag, some paragraph, and finally images. So this is the basic template which we are going to use to perform our manipulation and selection processes. Now, what is the first step of DOM? The first step of DOM is to select element. Okay, so how we can select elements? We have two main methods. The first method is getElement method, and the second method is QuerySelectors. So in getElement method, what we are gonna do is that we will select a particular element based on its ID, based on its class name, or based on tags. Right, so the first method in getElement method is getID. So what this will do is that I will select the element which has that ID. If there is no such ID, then I will return null. Okay, so if I talk now, then you will not understand. Let us go into the HTML part. So here in the HTML, this is the document I am having. Okay, now for this document, you can see that I am having in the image, it is having a ID as main image. Okay, so the first step in DOM is to select elements, right? So let's say that I want to select this image tag. So to select this image tag, what I'm gonna do is that I will run the file. Now after running the file, I will open my document. This is the document I'm having, right? So I will click on inspect and go to the console. So in the console, first of all, I will remove all this. Now first of all, I will print my document object. So document object, you can see that document object is storing the whole structure of my HTML. Okay, first of all, I am having my HTML. Inside the head, I am having my meta tags, and inside the meta tags, inside the body, I am having all the structure of my document. So this is the overall structure of my document. Now what I am gonna do is that I want to select a image which is having ID as my image. So what is the ID of the image here? My main image is the ID. Now I want to select this particular image. So to select this particular image, what I'm gonna do is that I will write get document dot get element by ID. Now here I will write my ID name. What is the ID name I am having? Main image. So I will copy this and I will paste it here. Now let us see. You can see that it is showing the image here. So this is the image I am having. Now one more thing you need to remember here is this image is not a HTML tag. This image is an object in itself. Okay, now let's say that here I want to choose this paragraph. Now I want to select this paragraph. So here, what is the paragraph? This is the paragraph I'm having, right? So let's say that for this paragraph I'm giving ID is equals to first para. Okay, I'm giving first para as my ID. Now I will go to my document, and in the document what I'm gonna do is that first of all I will choose my para. So to choose my para, let's say that I'm creating a variable para is equals to, and I will select that particular element through ID. So here I will write my document dot get element by ID, and I will write my first para, right? First para is my ID name, so I will write FRIST first para. Okay, now you can see that I got my first para. Now the thing you need to remember here is this para variable will store the object information of this paragraph tag. Now if I print the type of para, it will show me it is an object. So I will print type of para. Para. Now you can see that the output is object, because this document dot get element. In the document, I know what is a document object. Document object will store the entire information of my HTML document. So document object, all you need to remember here is that a document object is a huge box, and inside the box you will have the entire information about your HTML document. Now in this huge box, what I'm doing is that I'm entering into the box and I'm selecting the thing, the item which I want. So the item which I want is a first para element, the ID which is having first para. I am choosing that element. Now after choosing that element, I am assigning to a variable called as para. Now if I want to see for this particular object, para is object, right? If in JavaScript, if something is an object, then it will have key value pairs. So to see that key value pairs, what I have to use? I have to use console.dir. So here I will write console.dir, and in that I will write para. Now you can see that you can see this, all the information I am having related to my paragraph object. Now you can see, let's say that if I want to print what is the information storing, what is the text this particular para is storing. So to do that, I will write para dot, you can see that I am having different like properties like key value pairs. Here you can see that Arial busy, Arial something something, and button client, all this. Now if I want to see what is the text stored in this particular para, then I will write text, and you can see that I am having outer text, inner text, all this information. Now if I write here, let's say I'm writing inner text, so it will give me the information of this para. So here you can see that I am having Spider-Man, so it is returning me all the information. Here you can see similarly I can print para dot background, or you can say para dot style. I don't want to go into style, but yeah, content text, or I can say text content, and it will give me the entire content of the document. So what is the document which is stored in this object? You can do that. So I hope you have understood how we select elements by ID. What we will do is that to select a particular element in our HTML, first of all we will write our document object dot, we will write the function GetElementById. If we are selecting a particular element through ID, then we have to write it here. Now here similarly I will write my ID name, and what this will return is that it will return the document or you can say object which is having this particular ID, and I am storing this particular object in para. Okay, now after storing, you can see that this many properties this particular object is having, like attributes. You can study in detail by pausing the video, or you can write yourself like off speed, on load what will happen, on scroll what will happen. So all this information, you can see that what is the styling which is included for this particular object. So styling is also coming here. So for this particular element which we have selected, you can see A to Z every like detail of this particular object. So this is how we select a particular element by ID. Now similarly we have another method called as select element by class name. Let's say that you have set of elements. Let's say I'm having 10 elements, and these 10 elements are having same class. Okay, these 10 elements are having same class. Now instead of choosing each and every element through ID, you want to select this entire 10 elements in one go. Then at that point you will use GetElementByClassName method. So here in the HTML document, you can see that at very last I am having this div, and this div is storing 3 images, image 1, image 2, image 3, and for these 3 images the class is same, which is old image is the class name. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna select this image, or you can say all these tags in the entire document. Let's say that the tags which is having class is equals to old image, I'm selecting all those tags. So to do that, what I'm gonna do is that here I will remove all this here in the document. Comment out. Okay, so in the document what I'm gonna do is that I will clear all this. Now let's say that I'm selecting collection images. I'm giving image collection, because you can see that in the document I'm having 3 images, and these 3 images are having same class. So I'm writing a variable image collection is equals to, and I will write my document object document.getElementByClassName. And what is the class name I'm having? My class name here is old image. So here I will copy this and I will paste it here. Okay, now click enter. You can see that I'm storing now all the information of these 3 images into image collection variable. Now if I want to print the source of these images, then I will write image collection, and you can see that in the image collection I am having 3 images, image 1, image 2, image 3. Now if I want to get the source link of a particular image, then I can do that something like this. Here I will write image collection. Let's say that I want to change the 0th image. So here I will write 0 dot image, or you can say src. Here you can see it will give me the link of this image. This is the link of the first image. Now if I want to replace the link of the first image, then I can do something like that. Like for example, let's say that in the place here you can see that this is the image I'm having. Now for this image I want to change the image through JavaScript. So what I'm gonna do is that first of all I will search a random image. Let's say I'm searching Batman image, and you can see I'm having some different thing. Let's say go into images, and in the Batman, let's say I want a cool image of Batman. So I will choose this looks cool, so I will get the link of this image. Here this is the link of this image. I will copy the link, and in the document what I'm gonna do is that I will write image collection of 0th image, because I want to change the image of the 0th index. So here I will write 0 dot src is equals to, and in the single quotations I am giving my image. Now you can see that now the image has changed from some other image. Now my new image is Batman. So this is what we do. This is how we perform, like selecting and manipulating. We'll see manipulation in few minutes, don't worry. Now you can also do for the first image as well, or let's say that for this particular tag I want to change this Spider-Man to Batman. So how I can do that? First of all, I will do here, this is my h1 tag, right? So I will write class is equals to, and I will give heading 1. I'm giving this class name. Now what I'm gonna do is that in the document I will choose here I will write let head, or you can say let h1 is equals to document dot, here let me give here let h1 or heading is equals to document dot get image, or you can say get element by class name. And what is the class name? Heading 1, right? So what is the class name I have given? Heading 1. So I will copy the class name here, heading 1, and here I will paste it here, heading 1. Now what I'm gonna do is that I want to change this Spider-Man into Batman. So I will write heading dot inner HTML, heading dot here it is showing a collection of this heading, and in the 0th it is having, okay. Now I will give heading of 0, because the thing you need to remember here is that when I give GetElementById, I will directly store the element. Now when I give GetElementByClass, then what will this method will do is that it will create a collection, it will create an array of elements. Now to access a particular element in an array, what we use square brackets. So here I am using square brackets, right? Dot here dot inner HTML. So here you can see inner HTML is Spider-Man. Now I want to change this Spider-Man into Batman. So here I will write heading of 0 dot inner HTML is equals to, let's say in the double quotations I am giving Batman. Now you can see that now the change text is Batman. Like this we can perform selecting and changing or altering the overall data. Now if I refresh now, you can see that again the Spider-Man will come in, because we are doing it in the browser. Now if you perform all these things in the app.js file which we have created, then the changes will be permanent. Okay, now the next method we are having is GetElementByTagName. So this is also very similar to class name, but instead of giving a separate class to each and every element, what we do is that, let's say that for all the paragraph elements or for all the anchor elements you want to do something, then you can use this method here. So here in the browser I will clear all this. Now I will write let let's say I'm giving tag elements is equals to document dot GetElementByTagName, and let's say I want to choose all the paragraph elements. So in the double quotations I will give paragraph elements. So what this will do is that it will store the node, or you can say it will create a collection of elements which are having paragraph. Now if I print tag elements, you can see that I am having a collection. This is first para, second para, like third para, fourth para, something like that I am having. Now for the first para, like for example for this particular para I want to change the background color. Then what I can do is that I will write tag le of 0 dot style dot background color. Let's say background color is equals to, let's say I want to give yellow. So here I will write yellow. Now you can see that now the background color is yellow. Like this you can select elements using getElement method. Now the next important method we are having is GetElementByQuerySelectors. So the difference between QuerySelector and GetElement method is, in GetElement methods we are having three different things: GetElementByTagName, GetElementByClassName, GetElementById. So these three are different methods we are having. Now QuerySelector is, you can say, more efficient method when compared to GetElement method, and QuerySelector is also used to select elements. But the only difference is, instead of giving here, you can say that I am having GetElementById, class name, tag name. Instead of writing three different methods, we are compressing all these three into a single element, and that is known as QuerySelectors. Here the syntax of QuerySelector is, first of all you will write document dot QuerySelector, and you will write, if you want to select a tag, then you will write tag name. If you want to select the element by ID, then you will write element ID, or if you want to select a particular element by its class, then you will write class name. And one more thing you need to remember here is, whenever you give document.QuerySelector, let's say in a document I am having 10 paragraphs. Okay, now I want to select this 10 paragraphs. Then QuerySelector, the innate property of QuerySelector is it will only select the first element. Let's say in 10 paragraph elements, the first paragraph element is will get selected by my QuerySelector. So to select all the 10 elements, I need to write QuerySelector all. So it will select all the paragraph elements. Here let me show it to you. So here I will refresh the document. Now I will write let para le is equals to, and I am giving I want to select a particular element. Here you can see in the document I am having how many paragraphs? This is the first paragraph. After that I am having another paragraph. Like this I am having 2 paragraphs. Now the property, the behavior of query selector is, if you give query selector and in the parenthesis if you give tag, then it will only select the first tag in the document. If you give class name, then it will select the first element which is having that class. Okay, if you want to select all elements, then you have to give query selector all. So here let me show you. Document dot query selector, and in the query selector I want to choose the para element. So here I will write para, and you can see that the para le is nothing but this first paragraph, right? So this is the first paragraph I am having, and this is the second paragraph I am having. But query selector is only choosing the first para. Why is that? Because the behavior, the property, innate property of query selector is, let's say in a document, the first element which is coming first, that element will get chosen by query selector. Right now, if you want to select the both paragraphs, then here you need to write let, or you can see document dot query selector all, query selector all. Now give para. Now what will happen is that it will store the collection of this two paragraphs, whatever the paragraph you are having, it will store the information of that. Okay, got it? This is how we use query selectors. Okay, now you can also, in the place of tag, you can give id, you can give class name. For example, let's say that for this particular image here, for this particular image I am having main image as my id. So I will copy this. Now I will come here and I will write document dot query selector, and in order to select query selector, and in order to choose this image I have to use hashtag my id name. Now here you can see that I will get the image link. Now I will copy the same here. Now let's say I want to change it, I want to change the source of it. So I will write src is equals to, and I will write, let's say I want to add Batman. Let us see a cool image of Batman. This is a sort of cool. Okay, now I will choose the link here, copy the link and paste it here. Now you can see that I got the image of Batman. Like this we can use query selectors get element method to select a number of elements in our JavaScript. Now we have studied about selection is completed here. Now the second part of DOM is manipulation. How after selecting, okay, you have understood how you can select elements. Now how you gonna manipulate, how you cannot you are going to change the content, the overall structure of your document through manipulation, DOM manipulation. So let us start. The first method we are having, the first concept in manipulation is content manipulation. Let's say in a HTML document you are having content. Now if you want to change that content, you can do that using these three methods. There are a number of methods, but these three are the important methods which we use to manipulate content in our HTML, which is inner text, text content, inner HTML. So let us see what is the difference between these three. So here I will go and I will refresh my document. Okay, so after refreshing, first of all I will select the first paragraph. So here I will write document dot GetElementById or GetElementByTagName. Okay, let us see query selector. Let us use query selector because it is short and it will give me information in very, like, it will give me the first tag. I want the first tag, so document dot query selector, and I will choose my first paragraph tag. Now you can see that this is the first paragraph tag. Now I am printing inner HTML for this first para. You can see that it is giving me the inner HTML. What is I am having for this paragraph tag? First of all, I am having bold tag. After that, one normal para, link and some links. So inner HTML will give me the structure of my HTML. Okay, now if I print here in the place of inner HTML, if I print inner text, it will basically give me the entire text of my document. Similarly, if I print, let's say, inner text content, so in the place of inner HTML, I will print text content. Text content, and you can see that it will also give me the inner text content. But what is the difference between inner text and text content is, let's say that I am hiding some elements in my HTML. I don't want to show, for example, let's say here I don't want to display this Spider-Man. Okay, here you can see that I am having my Spider-Man and I don't want to display Spider-Man here. So what I can do is that I will write display style is equals to display none and save this. Now go to the document. Here you can see that I'm not getting Spider-Man, even though I'm having this in my HTML document, but in the front end I'm not getting it because I have given its display as none. Now if I print, now if I use the text content, then you can see that Spider-Man will also come. But if I print, if I choose inner text, then you can see that what is the text I'm getting in my front end, in my browser, that text will only come in the text, inner text property, whereas text content will give me the entire text which is storing inside that particular tag. I hope you have understood what is the difference between text content, inner text, inner HTML. So these three are the methods which we use to manipulate the content in my HTML page. Now the next method we are having is manipulation of attributes. For example, let's say that image is having some property and that property is getting assigned through its attribute, through its classes and IDs. Now I want to change that ID. I want to change the class name, the ID name of a particular element. I can do that using getAttribute function. So here I will write, okay, so let me choose document. So in the document, let's say that I am storing this element as, let's say, image1. I want the image1 is equals to document.QuerySelector image, and I'm storing this image1 inside my img1 variable. Now for this img1 object, for this img1 variable, I want to get the attribute. Okay, what is the attribute for this particular thing? So here I need to give a name. Let's say my name is here main image. I'm giving the attribute value. You can see that the image is having null. Like this we can give the image name. Similarly, if I want to change the ID of this particular image, then I have to give comma. I have to give here, I will give new image. So this will become my new image ID. So for this particular image, the new ID will become this one. This is the old one, and this image, sorry, this new this text will become the new ID of my image. Now the next property we are having is navigations or manipulation style properties. So through our manipulation, through our DOM model, we can also directly manipulate the styling of my document. So here, for example, let's say that I will clear all this. Now I will give style, or you can say yes, is equals to document dot GetElementById or GetElementByTagName, and here I will give h1. Here in the quotations I will give h1, and let's say yes is having only one collection, which is the heading element. Now for this collection, let's say yes of 0, I want to see its styling. So here I will write style and click enter. You can see that for this particular element, whatever the styling it is having, it is showing all the things here. Now for this heading tag, let's say I want to change the background color and the color itself. So I will write yes of 0 dot style is equals to dot background color is equals to, let's say I want to give as green. So green. Now you can see that the background color is green. Similarly, I want to change the foreground color, which is basically color. So here I will give color color is equals to, let's say, yellow will be good, right? Yellow. Now you can see that the foreground color is yellow, the background color is green. Like this we can like use the style properties to manipulate the elements in our HTML. Now the next property we are having is navigations. Say that you want to see for a particular element what are its parent elements, what are its children, what are its child elements. So to check for a particular element what elements it is having, what are the neighboring elements around it, we use navigation properties. So in the navigation property we are having, let me clear all this, refresh the document. Now I will write, let's say, document dot query selector, and for query selector, let's say I am giving h1 tag, so h1, and for h1 tag I want to see its children elements. So here you can see that children, I will be having some property called as children element count, lost children, remove children, all these things. Now if I give children, now here you can see I am having the collection of empty because this h1 tag is having nothing. Similarly, if I give here in the place of h1 body as my tag name, so body, here you can see that I will get the children's of body tag. Children is storing h1 tag, image tag, h2, all the information. Now if I want to see for h1 its parent element, so here parent element, now you can see for h1 its parent element is body element. Now for body tag, if I want to see its parent, then here I will give body, and here for body the parent is HTML. Like this you can navigate. And for let's say for h1 tag you want to see the siblings of h1 tag, so here you will write sibling, next sibling, and the next sibling is text. Here the next sibling is text, whatever the elements it is having, we are getting it. So this is how we use navigations property to check for a particular element what are its corresponding neighboring elements, parent element, children element. So let's say that you want to add a particular element or you want to create a particular element in your browser. So to do that we use a method called as createElement. So to create element we can add elements, we can add the content in the particular element, right? For example, let's say that in the document I will refresh all these things. Now I will write document to create a particular element in our HTML document. What we are gonna do is that, let's say that I am creating a variable, let p is equals to document dot create element. This is the method which we use to create a particular element. Now let's say that here I want to create a paragraph tag, so here I will give p and this will create a paragraph tag. Now if I print p, then you can see that my paragraph tag is empty, and in the document I am not seeing any paragraph tag. So to add content in my paragraph tag, I can give p dot inner text, and here I will give let's say this is my DOM create para. Now what I'm gonna do is that I will write here I have created the para. If I print the para, you can see that in the para I am having the information of the like something like this. Inner text is having this is my DOM create para. Now what I want is I want to insert this particular para into my document. So to add that, let's say that I want to add my para after h1 tag, after Spider-Man I want to add my document. So here I will write document dot get element or query selector, and let's say that I want to add h1. After h1 I want to add my para, so here I will write append, and here I will write my p object. Now click enter, you can see that I got the immediate object, right? This is my para. So yeah, this is how I'm getting. Now if I print my h1, now you can see that I'm having this h1, inside the h1 I'm having para. So the para, when I use append method, para will become a children of h1 tag. Okay, this is how we can add elements in our HTML. This is how we can create elements in our HTML through JavaScript. Now the next last method I guess we are having is removing elements. Let's say that you want to remove a particular element in your document, then you can do that using remove element method. So here I will write here, let me clear all the things. To remove a particular element in HTML, what we're gonna do is that first of all we will select the element and we will apply the function remove function on that particular element. Let's say that in the HTML I'm having Spider-Man, right, and I want to remove this h1 tag in my document. So to do that, what I'm gonna do is that first of all I'm going to select the element. So here I will write document dot query selector. First of all I'm going to select the document query selector, and here I will write my h1 dot, here let's say I want to remove the particular element, remove, and in this I will give h1. Then you can see that I have removed the h1 element in my document. Similarly, I can also give elements by id. Let's say hashtag main image. I want to remove the Spider-Man image. Here I can give hashtag main image. Now you can see that Spider-Man is also removed from my document. Like this we can remove, we can add elements, we can manipulate the text, we can perform navigations, all these things in our HTML document using DOM concept. I hope you have understood till now whatever the concepts you have studied with the very simple basic examples. So I want you guys to do things on your own, because when you practice on your own, then you will understand in depth, okay, this is how it is working, this is how these things are working. So this is about DOM structures. In the next chapter we are gonna study a more in-depth development part. So with that being said, I will see you in the next one.